Yeah, there's that and a whole bunch more. We're talking Superman being in the world, not appearing in the Batman. There's Joker stuff. Like, I'm a lot more on board with the Joker stuff now. There's just a lot. There's a lot. We need to get into this. How's it going, Bat family? Welcome to yet another The Batman filming update video. I've done quite a few of these in the last week, so I'll leave those videos linked down in the description or in the cards above or on the end card of this video. You know how it goes. Welcome to all the brand new people. Make sure you stay subscribed or subscribe if you are new to never miss out on an important update on the Batman. I do cover it very intricately on this channel with all of these recent set photos. Wanted to, give it a couple of days before I made another update video. Now that it's gone from Liverpool filming to Chicago, there's been a lot more stuff in terms of the drops that we were discussing last week. So enough rambling at the very beginning. There is a lot to go over. As usual, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's a lot of Easter eggs that Matt Reeves and the production team and designers are setting up and fleshing out. It's actually crazy. Mr. Freeze stuff, like subtle Bane stuff, if you really want to look into that, and you'll see what I mean by that. You may be thinking, what do you want about? I didn't see anything about that. We're going to get into that. Also, major shout out to the people who even captured these images. You can see their Twitter or Instagram handles on the screen. It's just very helpful, because without those guys, we wouldn't really be able to be making videos just like this. By the way, since this is another long video and a lot to get through with little different segments of Joker speculation and Joker evidence even, and the drops evidence, this is going to be timestamped as usual, just like my past video. Initially, I'll probably go over the Superman stuff and then get into the other stuff, but yeah, that will be on the video bar or in a top pin comment down below if you kind of want to know where each part is in the video without having to skip throughout it. First of all, I think it's going to have to be the Superman and Wonder Woman references, because maybe some of you have seen this. This is really awesome Easter egg stuff, and it kind of, like, in the moment of it, blew my mind a little bit, just because, let me get this right off the bat, this isn't Superman, this isn't Wonder Woman, this was a Halloween-esque kind of party within Gotham City. There's been a lot of people in fancy dress, but it's just the mere fact that they decided to put some extras into a Superman suit and Wonder Woman, and there's also more than that on the Gotham Times newspaper, which we're going to get into, which really does validate the existence of Superman in this universe even more. It's just fantastic, because the Batman universe isn't in the DCEU. And sure, like, to some people, I think this is, to people who are just lightly into comic book stuff, they're like, but isn't every DC iteration got to have Superman in it because it's in the DC world? Yes, but no. Think like the Dark Knight films with Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan's films. That was Batman. Sure, you could technically say there was a Superman out there, but like, really, it was just a grounded, self-contained Batman thing. Yes, you had Bane out there. Yes, you had the Joker out there. But like, we didn't know if the Batman was going a bit more comic book roots versus what Christopher Nolan did with his trilogy. And I've always had the thoughts that Matt Reeves in this universe would be like grounded, but we may very well see the more comic book accurate villains, like maybe even Clayface or something like that, whereas Christopher Nolan would never have touched that stuff. And what even proves this even further is that, not only are the citizens of Gotham dressing up as Superman, so that does show that he's out there, but Metropolis does indeed exist, because in the newspapers from the Gotham Times, there's been lots of newspaper shots. We're getting so many freaking Easter eggs from this, and not only was Arkham mentioned in this and Metropolis, and you're probably seeing on screen or a Twitter screenshot from one of the fan pages or something like that. The last segment of the article is, the bus was like a hive of innocent little faces looking up to the skies, fingers pointed everywhere, looking for you know who. So yeah, long story short, that was a little segment about a story in Metropolis in the Gotham Times, and that's very obviously referencing Superman. There's a Halloween party, people dressing up as Superman and Wonder Woman, so they're out there, and I love how they're kind of already out there when Bruce is in his early 30s. Batman is only in year 2 when Clark Kent as Superman is already kind of out there, probably quite a little bit into his career. That's just a revelation within itself. It's a big kind of confirmation, just in the sense that we know that Matt Reeves' Bat universe, the Batman universe, has fleshed out actual metahumans or powered people out there. And this gives us a lot of hope now to future villains that we may see, the more meta-powered ones. Now, amongst a lot of the set pictures, I feel like this is cool to chuck in just after the kind of Superman-y kind of stuff. Brandon Davis from comicbook.com did take this picture of a Gotham City taxi and limousine commission licensed taxi cab. But either way, it says 2019 on it. Now, this isn't revelationary. This is kind of like, you know, a little tax kind of thing to put on a cab kind of thing, a licensed taxi thing. And we knew from like the trailer, and the crooks were like filming with like an iPhone. We basically knew this was more or less present day, and this doesn't exactly confirm it, because it could just be like a detail that you would never really see in the movie. But either way, like if you want to think of the Batman having a time setting for now, we can really assume that it is indeed 2019. And I just think that's a cool detail to bring up. It wasn't exactly 1999 with an iPhone in the trailer. So yeah, you get my point. Now, as to what I played at the very beginning of the video, in Chicago, there's a chase scene going on, which is very obviously Bruce and Selina on their bikes again. You can't really tell who's properly chasing them down, but as you're seeing on screen right now, we can see Bruce in the kind of similar get up to what he was in the trailer, where he arrives in the Batcave, takes his helmet off. It's not the exact same clothes, but it's him with his like big backpack on, likely holding the bat suit in there. And also, I'm just wondering where they're going here, because they're not exactly suited up. This isn't Batman on his bat bike. This is Bruce Wayne in this kind of Matches Malone-esque kind of incognito mode. And maybe they're just simply going somewhere, rushing somewhere, but you do see a car behind them going quite quickly. You could argue this is somebody just trying to film them, but there's no camera rig on that car. But either way, if you're wondering what the Gotham City license plates look like, I'm sure you're seeing them on screen right now. Talking about the incognito mode, you've got a bunch of Twitter pages and just fans in general talking and comparing Bruce's kind of Matches Malone alias in the Gotham underworld on Twitter of what Robert Pattinson is wearing here, because, you know, he's wearing the cap, the hoodie, he's got that same backpack on as what he was wearing in the bike chase scene. And, you know, as I said, very similar to the trailer and what you're seeing on the screen right now, where he arrives in the Batcave, takes the helmet off. It's that kind of similar get up. That's what he wears when he goes out into Gotham, trying to observe a crime scene or anything like that, but not obviously as Bruce Wayne, because everyone knows what the billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne looks like. Now, everyone, let's finally move on to all of the speculation stuff, but also the evidence, if you will, of what they're fleshing Gotham out to be with all of this drops business. Now, it's just really crazy that this all came about with the other day. I recommend watching that video first, because on the advert screen, it says, need help. It was addressing the new drug in Gotham, the drops, and it had a very Halloween-y-esque, kind of scarecrow-esque dipped hood, if you know what I mean. However, a lot of people were thinking it was maybe Joker-oriented from the little teardrop from the eye and the very wide smile there. And also a lot of people were thinking, yeah, fair enough, it kind of looks like a scarecrow-esque kind of cowl, classical design, but what if it is a red hood? Which I did find it interesting as well, but I was just like, really? Are they going to do Joker? Like, we've heard rumors that there's going to be long-term setup. I've spoken about that enough. I'm not going to go on that again about certain characters, but I wasn't sure if they're going to do it like this. But the theory's out there now that I've really looked into them a lot more, and especially what you're going to see today to do with Ace Chemicals, I think it has almost sold it for me. Like, I'm not going to put every ounce of my money on it kind of thing, because who knows till we see the movie. But the Joker theory and the kind of crime collaboration and the way they're setting up this Joker to maybe be making this drug and getting people hooked, and maybe that also alters his appearance to be the, you know, kind of, you could almost compare it to a bit of a meth look, if you know what I mean. The people you may have seen in Breaking Bad. Yeah, like, it's all kind of falling into place now. So let's first of all talk about the Fear City poster. People initially thought this looked like an Arkham Scarecrow because it looks like a hood, but really, if you look at it in another way, it's somebody's hands on his face in a very Joker pose. He's not smiling, he's more kind of shouting in fear. That's where you can't really bank everything on Joker, but like in a very Killing Joke kind of way. Or if you watch Gotham and how Jeremiah had that scene, Cameron Monaghan, where he went like that, I'm sure I'm showing it on screen. It's very like there's no mistake there. That's a very deliberate pose. There's no mistake. That was very deliberately done behind the scenes in the production design of the Batman. Now, that is just one thing. Now, going further into the droplet theory, there are these smiles. Now, one thing that people are undecided on, including myself, that it is very kind of the Cheshire Cat kind of Mad Hatter smile. But at the same time, of course, it is a very wide Joker smile. And yet again, very Killing Jokey imagery here. We've got the teardrop going there, and obviously the very very wide smile, and the whole theory behind this, just generalizing it, is that the Joker has kind of manufactured the red drops, whether he's still doing it or not. The distribution is being carried out by Gotham's crime mob, whether that's Maroni, and that references to the trailer with the Maroni drug bust, whether that's in the trailer where Penguin was at the docks or wherever that was, and he was bringing in some kind of shipment, but the Batman was there, and that's who they were shooting at. Obviously, the drops drug is very integral to this storyline, but it's just very interesting as to this origin and how that pertains to certain characters possibly collaborating, because it might actually very well be the Joker as the manufacturer. I'm not saying he's literally like freaking Heisenberg here, but it could be some long kind of standing origin elaborate plan of his that Matt Reeves is setting up here, but also with potential other villains and characters like Falcone, Penguin, and other little dots and pieces getting involved. But another thing to add to it is the Ace Chemicals poster. Now, what do we see on this Ace Chemicals poster, guys? Like, this is what really did it for me. So not only do we just see Ace Chemicals, but we see drops coming from the letters. Who do we know is associated with Ace Chemicals? Yes, that is John Doe, aka, well, the Joker, whatever iteration they're going with here. It just makes more sense into that theory. And big shout out to the Big Bad Theory on Twitter. And this is, like, as I said, it's being recycled everywhere. I think everybody's adding in their own little pieces here. But I remember him being one of the main backers behind this being connected with the Joker somehow, and possibly other villains as well. But seriously, with these drops, and you see Ace Chemicals here with drops, we know, like, it just makes sense that I'm not saying it's going to be, like, a lot of people think it's going to be outright Joker Toxin. I don't think that's the case, because if it was outright Joker Toxin, people would be taking and these are eye droplets, by the way. You can see that in this poster. It says drops, and then it's in the form of eye drops. That may be obvious to some of you, but a lot of us, including myself, were thinking there was maybe vape carts, like drops that you put into your vape, and then you vape it, and that's how you get the psychedelic effect. As we know, there are actually eye droplets, but yeah, if it was outright Joker Toxin, people would be dying. But what I kind of like in what this universe could be, Matt Reeves' version could be a long-term, early version of the Joker Toxin, where people get hooked to it, and maybe it changes, how drugs do. They can change your appearance, especially with a lot of use, especially opiates kind of thing. Not saying this is that, but maybe over a long period of time, it does kind of give you, I'm not saying it literally morphs your muscular kind of properties into a smile, but maybe it does. And maybe from the manufacturer himself, let's say it is John Doe or Jack Napier or whoever, whatever they're going to do with him, Joker, he has used this long enough that it's driven him insane, and that's why his kind of unique look is kind of really kind of druggo looking. Do you know what I mean? And that could really be kind of a cool iteration of a Joker having not only just the insanity of just being, like, probably quite sociopathic and psychopathic himself, but through taking droplets, manufacturing them at Ace Chemicals or whatever he's done, and whatever this Ace Chemicals reference is with the drops off of the letters, is that it's given him some kind of consequence of facial structure differences, and that wouldn't be surprising. I know some people are immediately going to be like, I don't like that, I just want a chemical vat Joker. I get it, but I personally would really be on board with a drug changed look and adding to his insanity and thinking he can liberate everybody with it because it makes him happy and it should make everyone else happy as well. Or another thing that I wanted to get into it, guys, is that what if, as a lot of people are thinking, this is Red Hood manufacturing and distributing these drugs, he's not quite fully formed Joker yet kind of thing. However, through the Batman doing the other things in this movie, stopping the Riddler, but also addressing this red drop problem, he does the confrontation with the Red Hood in a very Killing Joke themed way, and this John Doe Red Hood gang member falls in the chemical vat of the drops, of what a whole massive vat full of the liquid that make up the drops in the, eye drop drug that's going around Gotham, and that then fully transforms this guy into the Joker. Just another little bit of food for thought there. I mean, just picture it for a moment. What you're seeing on screen right now, look at how disgustingly morphed and meth head kind of look this Joker kind of looks like. Imagine if that's caused by the drops. that he has somehow done via Ace Chemicals, or I know Ace Chemicals is, traditionally an actual, company, but like, so why would Joker be like, surely they wouldn't let him do that, but maybe he's been doing it on the sly, maybe as a worker there, who knows? But all I'm saying is, I just find it super weird that the traditional company that, housed the Joker's birth is now being advertised on the poster with the drops on it. So there's something fishy going on here, but it doesn't end there, guys. It doesn't end there. There is even more stuff. Oh yeah, and whilst I scrolled through this, Big Bat Theory apparently did a collaboration with Cinnamon Pepsi, and this just adds into the theory that I was talking about a second ago, is that obviously if Joker is doing this and collaborating with certain other villains, maybe at this point it is just the Red Hood gang, as to the Red Hood droplet kind of thing. What I really like about this concept here that they've done, need a laugh, find Mr. Drop being really a very early version of the Joker who hasn't come out as like the Joker and everyone knows him. So yeah, it's like a cool new take of the Red Hood, and here's their concept. Just to give a bit more context as to what I was on about earlier, I really like this kind of fan concept art here, and it's wicked. It's like now this can kind of bring you on board as it kind of did me, as I was reluctant at first with this theory. I think a red drop, or like the Red Hood gang wearing kind of red drops, that's awesome. But the other stuff is really still ambiguous. We've got these like really, really random letters, with the Joker kind of smiles and the teardrop there. Yet again, the drops are always echoed throughout these kind of graphics designs. We've got a smile here saying never trust authority. Yes, it is a skeleton head, but the smile is a bit emphasized there on the skeleton head. We've got this note here saying let's talk about nothing because F you, that's why. Psychedelic sidekick, the great escape, sleep is for the weak, high to the end, gone mad looking for sanity. That's a cool line and very Joker-ish. Gone mad looking for sanity. Spoil what's beautiful, has anybody, and then it just gets cut off there because a lot of people are grabbing the posters. And also another detail I do want to chuck in here as well. This is just honestly probably nothing, but I just found it kind of cool. I really don't think it's anything. But on these droplet posters here, the ones where the droplet's kind of getting sucked into this black hole of like the droplet in the middle, a lot of the outer ones have a J on the side. Obviously it's just a smile, the droplet logo smile, but they've been distorted in such a way where it really is like almost like the Jared Leto J tattoo, like J, with the way they're depicted. I don't necessarily think that's deliberate. It really is just the distortion of how they're being pulled into the images, but it's just cool. And who knows with how it looks like a little J there. I really don't want to read into that. I'm not that kind of, oh my god, that must mean Joker, oh my god. Here's another kind of postery thing, can't really make much sense of it. No bravery, no courage. Last in I can't really read that, it doesn't really matter. And bursts of something, ain't no cave there for self on surrounding. The streets are filthy with sweat and tears, burning bins and cars, police on patrol. But the thing is, what I really like the idea of, before I continue on, is imagine reading this in a Mark Hamill Joker voice, like a burning bins and, police on patrol. I can't do it, but you get my point. That really, it's like, this doesn't make sense, but imagine it being like a Joker monologue in Mark Hamill's voice. Then it's like, ooh, now I know you can just apply that and it makes it seem convincing, but it's just like a cool little food for thought. Anyway, police on patrol, street corner, was it say shops? Shutdowns in the park, our city ain't safe and sound, crime is safe and, I don't know, scared because I'm fearless. And then yet again, you got like a little smile there. But, the kind of sanity kind of eye, the spiraling eye could reference the insanity of the Joker, but also the weirdness and warpness of the Mad Hatter. So this is why people are still so undecided. But yeah, again, with everything I've presented so far, with the context of the fandom theories and stuff like that, it really, really is compelling. Now, especially that we've seen Ace Chemicals. But the reason why you may not want to subscribe to Ace Chemicals so much is because we've got other references to other things that it could still be completely unrelated, but yet again, the drops on the letters for Ace Chemicals really do it for me. And what I mean by these other references is Mr. Freeze with Goth Corp here doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just a cool little reference. Bane-esque imagery there, and you may be like, oh, come on, you're looking into that. But look, you can see the little tube there. Yet again, probably means nothing, but it's just Easter eggy, just like the other stuff. Easter eggy, Easter eggy, Easter eggy. I believe the person we see on these posters here is the mayor. They're calling him like a liar. There's different iterations of this poster. One saying don't vote, it's just money, corrupt. We've got other ones with devil on it, devil tongue, a little smiley bit on his forehead there, a Joker, very Joker-esque smile there. A lot of this is still very ambiguous. One idea I do still like is that it still could be setting up plenty of things, just not all Joker, but like maybe there is a collaboration here. Maybe Joker did initially do this, but his drug has been taken away from him and been distributed by the mob. Who knows? It could have extended way past him. And also there's just other little tidbits that you've probably seen if you've been paying attention to this, like myself, of Blackgate Isle being mentioned on the news for Blackgate Penitentiary, and Arkham, we've already kind of spoke about that, and just a whole bunch more. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm probably forgetting something that's really going to annoy me. Yeah, the Demon's Quest was seen on another poster. That was, I believe, 2 Batman the Animated Series, a 2-parter to do with Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul, whatever way you pronounce it. There's quite a few things, minute kind of cool little Easter eggs, but I believe that I've gone over the main stuff that you needed to know about. So what I would love to know from you guys down in the comments below is your thoughts on this now. I mean, trust me, I was much more of the opinion of Scarecrow in the themes, the designs, and the comparisons I gave you in my last video with the Drops logo, but now you've seen the Ace Chemicals poster, the other imagery. Granted that it could be Mad Hattery, Cheshire Catty, it also could be Jokery, and the Ace Chemicals thing really did kind of sell that for me. And other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you, Bat Family, in the next video. Goodbye.